You know, I used to laugh at this whole idea of a war on Christmas, right? Because personally, I've never heard anybody complain about anyone saying Merry Christmas. I've always just kind of figured it was something that people use to complain about, you know? I never had saw any example of that in my personal life. And so I used to just scoff at the idea of there being this quote-unquote war on Christmas that a lot of people have been saying has been going on for years, right? Well, now it's pretty official. There is an actual war going on against Christmas. First, we can't play the song Baby It's Cold Outside because it's offensive or whatever. They go after Rudolph because it condones bullying and a bunch of other stupid shit. And now we're talking about gender-neutral Santa. Okay? Gender-neutral or female Santa. So there is now a legitimate war against Christmas, okay? Because all of these ideas that have been ideas for hundreds of years have suddenly in the year 2018 become offensive to everybody. It's insane. Last year, nobody was offended by anything, okay? Like, revolved around Christmas. But this year, all of a sudden, man, everyone is just going hog shit because there's just all this horrible stuff, man. Santa's a guy. The reindeer are supposedly boys. It's just fucking ridiculous, man. The world has gotten to a point in which I don't know if we can actually go back. I don't know if we're gonna ever become unoffended. So this whole idea about this whole gender-neutral Santa thing has come up recently due to a new survey from this Graphic Springs, what is it, a logo creation company? Which doesn't really make sense because it doesn't seem like they would be in the business of making fucking gender-neutral Santa, but this story has hit the mainstream, so I'm gonna read you guys the article, or at least the highlights of it that we're actually gonna, comment on and talk about anyways. For centuries, Santa Claus has been a traditionally jolly white bearded man in a red suit who has a craving for milk and cookies. Yeah, I can agree. I think throughout my childhood, that's what I always imagined Santa being like. However, a new survey from Graphic Springs, a logo creation company, has sparked a new debate over whether Santa should be a man, woman, or gender neutral. Okay, so kinda giving me an aneurysm, but not fully there yet. The company got the input of 400 people from America and the United Kingdom about ways to modernize St. Nicholas in October and November. They then used the top suggestions to survey 4,000 people on how they would envision a 2018 version of the legendary character. This already makes no sense. There's no reason to even modernize Santa. Like, there's nothing wrong with the Santa we've got now. I think for pretty much ever at this point, people have been cool with the idea of Santa Claus, right? The results showed that roughly 19% of United States people believe that Santa should be identified as neither male or female. Okay. More than 10% said Santa should identify as a woman, which means that 70% of people believe that Father Christmas should still be a male. So I'm actually surprised that that number is that high. I would have thought that 70% would have been a wild shot of people to actually still believe in the traditional idea of Christmas being about a big, fat, bearded white dude coming down in a goddamn stupid looking outfit and giving presents, right? So 19% of people think that we need gender neutral Santa. According to this survey, I just don't understand like what goes through your mind where you're like, you know what? I don't like Santa Claus because he's not gender neutral, okay? But I've given it some good thought after 8 Thoughts tweeted back at me yesterday, and this whole woman Santa thing might not be that big of a deal. I've been looking at some of these Pornhub videos, and I'm just saying, man, some Mrs. Claus being the new Santa, whew. That might be an alright thing. And what's actually funny about this whole thing is that they're actually assuming Santa's gender. There's plenty of genders that Santa could be. He doesn't have to be a guy just because, according to the politically correct side of things, just because he looks like a man and has, male genitals, or at least what we can assume, it doesn't mean that he's a male, right? That's not what that means. Gender and the genitals are, not constructed together, right? Therefore, why are they assuming that Santa is a guy? So I think for most of us already, we've realized how really fucking stupid this whole thing is. Now, for those of you who aren't aware, because I actually don't know if you're honestly that aware of this whole thing, Santa Claus is based on a real person, at least loosely based on a real person. So way back in the day, I'm talking hundreds of years ago, there was this guy named Saint Nicholas who was known for his charitable efforts, his ways of impacting his society. He gave to people, he was really helpful, he donated things, stuff like that. Just a really charitable guy, really nice guy. Over the years, the story of this guy, who really had a huge impact on his community through giving things and things like that, it spread throughout the world, and over the years, he has become Santa Claus, okay? So this whole thing is based on a real man who lived. Yet, 20% of Americans don't think that he should quote-unquote identify as either male or female. This is some of the dumbest shit that I've ever heard in my life. I can't imagine, honestly, having the time to sit around and just think about ways to fuck up Christmas, right? Honestly, what are you doing all day? Okay, because my job is literally to bitch on YouTube for money. Okay, that's my entire job. So what are you doing all day that is just so not important that you have time to sit around and be like, you know, I think Santa should be gender neutral. He shouldn't identify as a male or female. Or what do you have to sit around and just do? Where you're like, God, you know what would really be great? You know what would make Christmas better? What if we just made Santa a woman? As if Santa's not based on a real man who lived and doesn't have a wife named Mrs. Claus up at the goddamn North Pole, right? However, it seems some people think modern Santa should be rocking some skinny jeans, sunglasses, trainer, and instead of riding in a sled powered by beloved Rudolph and his peers, he might be cruising from town to town in a flying car. At this point, why even call him Santa Claus? At this point, just call him like Bryce. 20% of people responded that he should have tattoos, and 18% said that his iconic red and white suit should be replaced with skinny jeans, while they said that 22% think his sleigh needs to be exchanged for a flying car. 21% of respondents says he needs to go on a diet. Well, he is kind of a chunk, you know, he is Big Chungus himself. But have we gotten to such a point where we can literally sit around and argue about why Santa is offensive, or why we need to change up Santa because we're not representing women enough? It's fucking ignorant, man. But it doesn't stop there, okay? The whole gender identity problem doesn't stop at Santa. Apparently, we also gotta really check in on the reindeer. So, this might even be worse, really. As well as the debate over Santa's gender, there has also been talk about the sex of his faithful reindeers. Wildlife experts at Texas A&M University weighed in on the conversation. Santa's reindeers were really females, most likely, said Alice Blue McLendon, a veterinary medicine professor specializing in deer who cites the depictions of Santa's helpers with antlers as the primary evidence. Reindeer grow antlers regardless of their gender, and most bulls typically shed their fuzzy protrusions before Christmas. However, Greg Finstad, who manages the reindeer research program at the University of Alaska Fairbanks, said Santa's sleigh helpers might also be castrated males, also known as steers. Okay. May I point out to you that professors from two separate universities have weighed in on this? People in highly regarded positions who are supposed to be doing work that furthers the knowledge and understanding of humans on our planet, instead of literally doing anything else that would be more beneficial, are now arguing as to whether or not Rudolph and the boys are actually Rudolph and the bitches. So, not only do we have people at pretty decently respected universities, I mean, Texas A&M University is not a small college, right? These people from, nice universities are weighing in on Santa's reindeer's gender. We're actually having a conversation like this matters. Like, if Rudolph is a girl, like, it's gonna fucking change anything. See, because here's what I don't understand about the whole thing, okay? People act like when you make these changes that don't need to be made, like the world's suddenly gonna get better, okay? Like if you turn Santa Claus into Sandy Claus, right? Like sexism's gonna end right there, you know? Like all of the woman haters out there and shit are just gonna disappear from the earth. They're just gonna be like, well, Santa Claus is a girl now, I gotta stop hating women. Or like, it doesn't make sense. Or if, like, he's gender neutral, like, all the world's problems are just theoretically solved. We have people from decently respected universities out here arguing about the gender of fucking fictional characters in a story that is made up for children to get them excited and to behave well for Christmas, okay? You know, in the next 400 or so years, there's a pretty good chance that humans will be eliminated from the planet in some way, okay? We have all these crises going on our planet, okay? We have a population issue, we have a food issue, there's thousands of nuclear bombs that can be just shot at an instant that just literally wipe out the population. We have all these problems, right? And we have people in universities who are being paid good money to argue about Santa's fucking gender and about what his reindeer, their gender is. Instead of focusing on real problems, we are instead debating the gender of a fictional character that is actually derivative of a real-life man who lived on this planet. And I don't know why. I don't understand. Okay, this wasn't an issue before. This literally just became an issue this year. I've never heard a girl or a woman ever cry and complain that Santa Claus was not a woman. At this point, I think what's going on is People are seeing the outlandish shit that's being done by the politically correct, and they're just trying to one-up each other for the just dumbest shit that they can target, and they're literally competing with one another just to do whatever they can. So, if you think that old Saint Nick is a jolly old white guy who gives you your gifts on Christmas because you behaved well throughout the whole year, which is literally all just a fairy tale, right? Okay? I just want to let you know that you are the root of the problems in the world, and you are the kind of sexist that is keeping the world in the condition that it's in, and that Santa's gender is actually a big deal, okay? And he apparently needs to go in a flying car in some skinny jeans and in some sunglasses, so I just don't understand anymore, man. I don't get what the fuck the issue is here. I don't know why we have to keep having these discussions. It's not going to benefit anybody. It's not going to make anything better. It's just something for somebody to nitpick at, and all that does in turn is gets people like me to nitpick back, so congratulations. World's problems are solved right there. Thank you guys for watching. If you did enjoy, make sure to leave a like, subscribe if you're brand new around here, follow me on Twitter at @SubToOptimus, join the Discord down below. Thank you to my channel members for your $5 a month. Your support helps my channel tremendously. And until my next video, guys, this is Optimus, thinking Santa is a woman in a flying car with tattoos, sunglasses, and skinny jeans, and signing out.